We should be going live any minute now. Are we live? Okay, I think we are live. Good. All right. I'd like to welcome everyone to today's stream. You guys are gonna have to let me know if the desktop audio is too low, etc., etc. So you guys will have to tell me, because I'm running the stream today. It's not Walter, it's me. I'm running the stream. Hello, my name is Etsunder Zafira, and I'd like to welcome you all to round number 6. That is the Silverstone GP, one of my favorite circuits on the calendar. And you're gonna have to let me know if the desktop audio is too low, etc., etc. All right, stream is looking good. You guys will hear my own voice coming back at me a couple of times this session. But let's go ahead and cut straight to F1 now. You guys will have to let me know if the game audio is coming through. But currently 2 minutes have gone. Ooh, wet qualifying, very interesting. 2 minutes have gone in qualifying already, and just me trying to sort the stream out. There's no issues though, because we haven't missed much. It's just a lot of drivers setting their out laps right now. Any drivers have started their fast laps. Let's go ahead and see. We know if the game audio is coming through. But currently 2 minutes have gone. Ooh, wet qualifying, very interesting. Okay, so a couple of drivers have started their qualifying laps here. Streeter is currently on his qualifying lap. We'll go ahead and get our telemetry up here. Very sorry. Fitted tires, enabled, minimap, full map. Hide the spectator menu, hide the UI. Right now, Streeter is one of the first drivers starting his flying lap. Okay, so a couple of drivers have started their qualifying laps here. Stream is looking good, boys. Sorry, I keep checking because usually Walter handles this, and yes. So, some interesting facts about Silverstone. Its layout was changed nearly a decade back, I think. 2009 or 2010 was one of the last years of the old Silverstone layout, in which we didn't really have this section right here. Sector 1 was completely different. Not this entire. This is not Sector 1. I'm stupid. This is Maggots and Beckett's. But Captain Cheesecake right now has set the fastest lap of the session, a 1 minute 41.431 in the Alfa Romeo Sauber, instantly improved by Anirudh, a 1 minute 40.967, 5/10 faster. Not entirely sure which sector these drivers are gaining their time in, but that was his fastest lap. He's currently in ERS mode 5. Streeter goes faster again, a 1 minute 40.148 in the Force India. A very, very nice lap, very clean lap from Streeter. A couple of other laps coming in now. Babaji putting in a 1 minute 44.197, a couple of seconds off the pace of everyone else in the session right now. But Faizan also putting in a lap, also many seconds off the pace. Might have spun out or had a big off somewhere. Definitely not at maximum pace right now. If you guys are wondering why I'm the only voice you're hearing, it's because Walter has some work today, so he will not be commentating on the race. I tried to find some apt replacements, but I thought, all right, might as well, Eitzel, you just do it yourself, and that's what we're doing now. So apologies if my commentary / streaming is subpar. I only do this because F1 is my passion. I would like to work in F1 one day, not as a commentator, but I'm passionate about the sport, so might as well engage with it in the absence of actual real-life F1. As IRC, the real SD puts in a second place lap that puts him just behind the pole sitter right now, or the man on provisional pole, Streeter. Real SD puts in a 1 minute 40.849, as Anirudh puts in a 1 minute 39.481. Back to back fastest laps for Anirudh. Still seems to be a bit slow in sector 1, I think, but he seems to be purple in sector 2 and 3, which is what matters. And I think this weekend is when we're going to see Anirudh at his best, because, well, I said that at Monza as well, and some people call me out for being partial, but being entirely impartial here, I think this is one of the strongest tracks for a lot of drivers, because Silverstone is very iconic. A lot of drivers recognize Silverstone. A very lovely track, has a good flow to it, very historic, obviously. Need we even mention all the great races that have happened in the past at Silverstone? Just checking out the stream here, boys. There we go. You can hear me commentating and shit. Ooh. And yes, Uzair has said in our chat, who got him into F1? Me. Yes, Uzair. Your hatred of Formula One at the time is what got me to Formula One. Yes, absolutely. It's not the fact that the 2017 and 2016 cars looked very, very interesting. It's that because you hated Formula One and hated modern cars and modern racing that I got into Formula One. Yes, yes, you're right. You're perfectly right. A little side note there for you. Maranello. Oh my goodness. He is right back on it. Definitely not letting it slip since yesterday, who picked up a massive victory in Monza, coming from 15th on the grid and winning the race. Maranello, baby, his pace in the rain, a 1 minute 38.050. He is 1.8 seconds faster than second placed Anirudh in the rain right now. And we also have to say a congratulations to Maranello, baby, again for winning a Nations Cup race. He and two other drivers represented India in an international race watched by hundreds of people, and he managed to win it. He managed to win it in extravagant style. He managed to win it at Italy. So a couple of races for him at Italy yesterday, and he managed to do well on all of them. So congratulations to Maranello, baby, for that. Let's check out some of our other drivers. Let's not look at the top three all the time. Let's look at Chris Bye. Currently at a 1 minute 40.150. That earns him a fourth place on the qualifying sheet so far. Real SD has dropped down to fifth, but he seems to be on a flying lap now. So we'll keep an eye on him for the rest of this session. No more PP, who found himself considerably at the back of the grid yesterday in the race during Italy, is now in sixth place, sitting on a 1 minute 40.900 on 3-lap old intermediate tyres. The fact that they're on intermediate tyres indicates that conditions are not as terrible as we expected. They seem to be doing a lot better. Let me go ahead and figure out why game audio isn't coming through for you guys. Let me go ahead and remedy that for you here. There we go. I'll see if I can get game audio working for us here. On OBS, it seems to show that the game audio is working just fine, but I'm not really entirely sure why. And someone picks up a 3-second time penalty. We have to check out who this was. Ninja Zero and another driver there coming together. Let's look at who it was. I think it was Cooldog. Yes, I think it was Cooldog. Cooldog has picked up a 5-second penalty. Let's check out race director here. Incidents. Lots of invalidated lap times and warnings going on here because Silverstone in the rain, Silverstone in the dry is hard to get all the track limits, etc. correct. Silverstone in the wet is just terrible. And Cooldog has picked up a grid penalty. We're assuming a 5-place grid penalty. for collision with Ninja Zero, who was our winner out in Brazil 2 rounds ago. Very, very interesting developments. Cooldock has not been having a great season as he's facing the opposite way, going through, I think it's Cop's Corner, heading into the Beckett's complex here, as he is sitting on the racing line, nearly impedes an IRC No More PP on his flying lap. Ooh, just about seems to hold it there through Maggots and Beckett's chapel as well. Coming up to the end of the lap here. Long looping right-hander. It's a decreasing radius corner, so towards the end of it gets very, very tight. Just a difficult chicane to get right. You have to keep in mind that it's also leading into another corner, so you have to get your throttle application perfectly correct, or you can spin out on the apex. Very good lap there from IRC, No More PP. One of the advantages of the intermediate tires is you don't have to really go in and keep changing tires every 2 laps. You can consistently stay on one set of tires. Our top order has changed again. IRC, the real SD, coming in with a 1 minute 39.171, but need I say anything right now, because Maranello is absolutely dominating in terms of the lap time. The 1 minute 38.050 is the lap time right now for Maranello, baby. He seems to be just cruising in first place, and might I even say the pole position lap time has already been set. A 1 minute 38 is a massive lap, and he's 1 second clear of the rest of the drivers, the rest of the field. Streeter goes even faster, 1 minute 39.204, but unless he can make up another second on his lap, it's pretty much a lost cause at this point. Maranello has put in a mega lap, and he seems to be going for even faster times, making the most of track limits there, heading into the all start-finish section. Oh, McLaren off on the right there. I think one thing that I've noticed in the past couple of races is that the drivers are maintaining good decorum in terms of maintaining not track limits. Well, a lot of stuff going down on chat right now. Well, hope you guys liked my choice of loading screen picture. It was the Haas. I think it's a decent looking car. I think the gold and black Haas is an interesting livery. I think it looks better than the Haas of previous years. We're on board here with Chris By. We'll go to some cinematic shots here in the rain. This game looks particularly beautiful, as a big slap of oversteer there from Chris By going into the first sector. Oh, big slap of oversteer at the beginning of his laps. Drops it down to 0 ERS at the bottom right of your screen there. Chooses to wait for the faster Alfa Romeo Sauber to come through before rejoining the track. And that's one of many spins that you will see this session if it continues to rain. Of course, I'm not entirely sure what the weather report is for the race. We'll look at it when the race eventually rolls by. But yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how Chris By does. He seems to carry a lot of pace in IRC, which is our fellow Indian Racing League, the Indian Racing Community Racing League, I should say, the IRC. He seems to carry a lot of pace there, and he seems to be a very, very competitive driver, but we've just not seen a lot of that on RRL. We've not seen a lot of his pace on RRL. Maybe we'll see more of his pace on RRL, but right now he seems to have displaced Anirudh from the top 4. Anirudh drops down to 5th position, but he is on his fast lap now, so we will stay on Anirudh, and I'll update you on some of the other lap times. A lot of the drivers dropping out of the 1 minute 47s and 46s after spinning out. A lot of these laps are clean laps. They're just fairly slow laps. Not many of these laps are sort of crash laps and whatnot. Babaji in the other Toro Rosso, usually occupied by Melting Ace 11, but currently occupied by our reserve driver Babaji. Captain Cheesecake, who was briefly at the top of the session, still with the same time. a 1 minute 41.431. Not So Masoom, also a regular feature on IRC and a former RRL driver who dropped out because he wanted to focus on other pastures, other racing leagues obviously. He is in the other racing point, sitting in 11th place. Faizan, a very popular driver amongst our fans, is 1 minute 43.556, puts him in 12th position. Called up, the other Haas driver, currently in the pits with a 1 minute 43.902, and Dylan, who is our mercurial Williams driver, is currently in 14th place. His teammate False RU has not joined the session, or hasn't joined qualifying thus far. Anirudh moves up to 2nd position on the grid, but still nobody managing to get anything on Maranello Baby. He seems to be just pulling away at this point. He's gone even no, he hasn't gone even faster, but he could be going even faster this lap. We're not really seeing his on-screen, his MFD on the steering wheel. We can't really tell, but the Renault absolutely freight trading everyone else in this session so far. And even more interesting for all our fans will be to see Maranello starting in first, going into turn 1 ahead of the rest of the pack, because until now, in every race, he has started pretty much at the back of the field. And he's managed to make a big impression on everyone, and on me as well, by putting in some absolutely mega performances. But obviously right now he is on pole position, the first time in which I think he has acquired pole position in one of our qualifying sessions. So it'll be interesting to see just how much further Maranello will be ahead of the rest of the field when this race finishes, when he's actually starting in first position as opposed to starting in 14th and then making his way up the field. As Chris Bye is disqualified from the session for going the wrong way, or facing the wrong way. I believe he was off the track, and then he just decided to stay facing the wrong way as opposed to spinning around and staying just clear of the track. But he has been disqualified from the session, which means that whatever time he set is null and void. He is now in 15th position, even behind Ninja Zero, who retired from the session earlier. Faizan also retiring from the session, but qualifying has now come to an end, and again Anirudh has been pushed down by the real SD with a mega lap, a 1 minute 39.068, and really that is the closest anyone has got to beating the mammoth lap of Maranello Baby. A 1 minute 38.050 is the lap time to beat, and unfortunately nobody was able to beat it. What a lap! What a mega lap from Maranello Baby there, earns the pole position by a 1 second margin over the rest of the field. Let's see if anybody else is on their fast lap right now. I believe the IRC, the real SD, was on a fast lap. Not entirely sure what happened. I think he spun around there. Let's see if any other drivers are on their fast lap. I think IRC No More PP is coming through the wrong way. Maranello Baby has been disqualified from the session, but does that mean that he will be last? Will he retain his pole position lap as No More PP moves up into 4th place? Freeman also finishing his lap in the other McLaren. Maranello Baby has been disqualified. Maranello Baby, after putting in the pole position lap time, has been disqualified from the session. Freeman comes across the line, puts it 6th on the grid. Not So Masoom now finishing up his lap time. He will also look to improve on his time. No, he won't. He did a 1 minute 56. That is the end of qualifying. Very, very interesting there, because Maranello Baby put it on pole by nearly a second and got disqualified. Whether that is a purposeful move there by Maranello Baby to make this race more interesting, we do not know. I'm going to go ahead and take some screenshots here. Maranello Baby and Chris Bye, obviously, our final 2 drivers, both of them disqualified, called up with a 5-place grid penalty here, so he may start even behind these 2 drivers here. But very, very interesting development. So right now, your provisional pole sitter ended up down in 14th. So our pole sitter right now is IRC, the real SD, on a 1 minute 39.068. Anirudh will be close behind him going into turn 1, and Streeter will be close behind them, both of them looking to take advantage rather of any squabbles between them. But what a mega lap from Maranello Baby there. As our session gets underway, we're just waiting for our drivers here. They are all loading in. hearing a lot of creepy sounds sort of coming from my room. Pay no attention to those. I'll take advantage rather of any squabbles between them. But what a mega lap. Stream is looking very, very nice. Quality is good. Maranello baby, yes, he does deserve pole position, is there? But unfortunately, he's currently in. He's quite far down actually. As our formation lap gets underway with only some of the drivers, all of them are just loading in. But as you can see, the real SD is on pole. He starts ahead of everyone else. Maranello baby is all the way down in 13th position, choosing to start even further back. Very interesting choice there from Maranello. I think he decides he just wants a challenge. I think he's making fun of everyone here. He thinks this is a yoke. He thinks it's a yoke. 10th place grid. Well, he got a 14th place grid penalty actually. So it's a yoke, he says, as he drops down to 13th place. Looks to make an incredible recovery drive this time around as well. But one thing that our viewers will notice is it's a dry race in Silverstone. Very, very interesting. But if there's one thing that Silverstone has proved in the past is that the weather can be very, very unforgivable. The strategies can be insane, and that the heavens can open up at any time. But the important thing to note going into this race is that Maranello, our current league leader in terms of championship points, is sitting in the unlucky 13th position. And number 2 in our league, Anirudh, is currently sitting in 2nd place. But if there's anything we've known from yesterday's race, is that no matter how far ahead you are in terms of where you are in terms of race position, the weather can completely yeet you and give you bad luck. As Anirudh found out yesterday when he was on the intermediate tyres, or he was on the wet tyres when the track was drying up in the last 5 laps of the race, and Maranello made up a massive gap, I'd say 7-8 seconds in the matter of 2 or 3 laps. So a lot of unpredictability going on here. Ooh, a lot of ghosting going on here between Anirudh and not Streeter. That is G Chroma, who's decided he's going to take the formation lap into his own hands, moving up from 5th to 3rd, going into the formation lap. Obviously, when the grid reforms, he'll be placed back in 5th position as the grid is reforming now. Freeman in the other McLaren putting up a brilliant qualifying performance, puts it in 6th position. He will look to push further up the grid and put some pressure on G Chroma and his teammate No More PP, maybe even pressure on Streeter in the Racing Point. Not so Masum in the other Racing Point, puts it on 7th. Baba G, our reserve driver, puts it in 8th position. Captain Cheesecake in 9th. Dylan in 10th. Faizan in 11th, still making his way around. Ninja Zero in 12th, also still making his way around. Maranello Baby also still making around. Both the Renault qualified right next to each other, so they'll be looking to make it further up the grid. And both the Hasses also qualified next to each other in 14th and 15th. Cool Dog had a 5-place grid penalty. He qualified in 12th, I believe, and Chris got disqualified from the session. Let's get ready. The grid has reformed. The flag has been waved. We have 5 red lights coming on here. And away we go. The crowd cheers as Anirudh puts the defense on Streeter. Streeter looks very imposing going into the first turn, but IRC, the real SD, pulls out already a 2 to 3/10 lead over Anirudh. Fairly clean there from all the drivers going into the first turn. Very, very clean racing there. No real carbon fiber bits flying around everywhere. A real SD is now pulling away from Anirudh. Nearly 6/10 clear already as a couple of cars going wide there. The Williams and the Sauber looks like are going wide at the entry into sector 2. Very, very interesting. But right now, no drivers really getting involved in any kind of drama here, as the Haas of Chris By is coming in the attack of the Renault and the Williams. The Renault of Maranello Baby making up good moves, moving up from 13th up to 12th now. Dylan moving up also, or has he dropped down? I'm not entirely sure. Let's get our telemetry up here. Lap data, full track map. Yes, yes, yes. Position change. As you can see, position change. IRC No More PP has dropped 2 positions. Faizan has dropped 4 positions. Captain Cheesecake stays exactly the same. Maranello is the one, and Chris By also benefiting massively. 3 positions gained as it's going 3 wide on the back straight. That's not the Camel Straight. I'm stupid. That's in Spa. As it's going 3 wide into the long right-hander. And Williams manages to stay safe there. No real contact between the 2 drivers. Let's look at Haas and Renault ahead. Oh, very, very close there between Cool Doc and Ninja Zero. He's right there on Ninja Zero's tail. No DRS enabled yet. Obviously, we're going into lap 2 of the race now. As there's a car spinning wide. There's a car spinning wide. It's not so Masoom. He has spun out. He drops to last. Anirudh has also dropped to last. What's happened here? He's in 14th position. I have no idea what happened to Anirudh. But Anirudh is currently sitting in 14th position. Is there a safety car? What's happened there? Has he taken damage? The dynamic spectator camera is not doing a very good job. It's just showing me his side pod right now. Let's look at his front wing. Has he taken damage? I don't think so. I think Anirudh may have just had a massive off. He's currently in 14th position. Might have had a spin somewhere, but the real SD is now pulling away from the rest of the field. 1 second clear already. Streeter following up in the Racing Point. G Chroma in the Sauber in 3rd, going into Magnussen Beckett's now. Baba G making up massive positions, 4 positions from 8th position. He now finds himself in 4th. Freeman and both the McLarens following each other very, very cleanly there. No real incidents for them. Faizan also making up a lot of positions, making his way up into the top 10 now. Maranello Baby once again mounting the overtakes on everyone else as he gets a fantastic overtake done on both the Haas and the Sauber of Captain Cheesecake and Chris By respectively. Streeter get a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Streeter retired from the session. There's a crash. Streeter has retired from the session. He's speeding in the pit lane and he has smashed into something or other and he has retired from the session. Streeter has also left the session, probably in anger and rage, probably throwing his controller or smashing his wheel. That is an interesting disqualification there. Just smashes into the pit lane. As he drops to last position, he had a very interesting position going into the first half of the race. He was in 2nd position. Good points there for Racing Point. Absolutely thrown away there by Streeter with an interesting incident going into the pit lane. Not so Masoom, the only chance of Racing Point picking up points in this race, is now currently sitting in 14th position with a lot of work to do after his teammate crashed out early. But an interesting development is that Anirudh has dropped nearly 10 positions and dropped down to 12th. I don't know if he had a spin or what. I didn't notice the spin happening at all, but randomly saw him tumbling down the positions and he's now sitting in 12th place. Baba G makes his way up to 3rd position now in the other Toro Rosso. Reserve driver doing very well in the absence of Melting Ace, going into the Magnussen Beckett section very fast left. Right, ooh, takes a lot of grass there and a lot of curve and a little bit of grass as well. Heading onto the back straight, he will have DRS on G Chroma. Will he try to get the overtake done here going into the long right-hander? Catching up very slowly. Not much ERS, not much fuel available to him. Will he look to do it down the inside? No, he will not have enough on G Chroma to try that. Will he have another chance down the main straight? No DRS there. Is there DRS? Actually, no, there is DRS there. I am dumb. Doesn't get a very good exit coming out of the second to last corner out of the chicane. Doesn't get a very good exit. Will he get DRS now? He will not get DRS. But Maranello Baby putting in the fastest lap of the race at 1 minute 31.315. Absolutely rapid there from the Renault driver. Cyril Abitable must be thanking his lucky stars for having someone like Maranello Baby driving for Renault. He seems to be a very big Renault fan, even though it says Maranello Baby. He's raced for Renault in a number of leagues now. IRC was at McLaren in the Nations Cup race yesterday. He was in Renault. Very, very interesting there for Maranello Baby, but he's currently made up 7 positions, currently sitting in 6th place. Chris By, the Mercurial driver, often likened to Romain Grosjean because he's driving in the Haas. I don't know if that's a big compliment or a big insult. Uzair Saeed, obviously the fan who has a strong opinions regarding both Chris By and Faizan, who are now following each other, a gap of just 0.9 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that battle. Maybe Faizan can make up some time on the Haas and we'll see an interesting battle between our two, let's just say our 2 most controversial drivers, as Baba G picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I believe that was maybe track corner cutting or exceeding track limits, but Baba G picks up a 3-second time penalty. As Maranello Baby picks up another overtake on the McLaren of IRC No More PP. 2 overtakes actually. Maranello overtaking both the McLaren of No More PP as well as the McLaren of Freeman, who is our session host. Very, very fast driving here from Maranello Baby, already on the back of Baba G here. You can clearly see that Maranello is carrying a lot more pace here. He seems to have made up on pretty much everyone except the real SD. He seems to be pulling away with a gap of 5 seconds. Let's go on board between Maranello and Baba G. Gets the overtake done in spectacular fashion there. Maranello up 10 positions, started in 13th, is now in 3rd position in the Renault. Brilliant driving from him. Very, very clean overtaking, never really putting in question as to his quality. Very, very smooth drive here from Maranello. Now looking to make up time on G Chroma, definitely the faster driver here on the medium tires as well, whereas G Chroma is on the soft tires and he's making up time on G Chroma. Absolutely insane pace here from Maranello Baby, heading into 3rd sector here. Big slap of oversteer from G Chroma here. Maranello right on his tail. We'll go on board Maranello Baby here. Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, and we are on to the Hanger Straight. Oh, a lot of DRS, slipstream. Maranello makes it past in spectacular fashion. Easy overtake there from Maranello. He's up from 13th place up into 2nd place. Nearly 11 positions gained during this race. But here will be his main challenge, because Real SD, from what we've seen so far, a very, very competitive driver. I think the other driver which we should go on board right now, who's trying to make up positions on the other drivers, is Anirudh. He seems to be on the chase. Let's look at Chris By and IRC. Both the McLarens going wing to diffuser here, going into Maggots. No, there's not Maggots and Becks. This is the 1st sector. Oh, long train forming here between 4 drivers. Freeman, IRC, No More PP, Baba G and G Chroma all following each other within DRS. They will all have DRS, but unfortunately, the only person really going to be disadvantaged by this is G Chroma, who seems to be making up time on Maranello Baby. We could be seeing an overtake mounted on Maranello Baby here, unless he can pull away. Definitely seeing the soft tires coming into their own here, offering much better levels of grip to the longer, faster corners. Maranello Baby currently in 5 ERS, which means ERS deployment at maximum, puts it on 0. Going into Cops Corner, coming into Maggots, Beckett and Chapel section here. Very fast lefts going through here. Right, another fast left. Lots, very important to get lots of curb through here, otherwise you can't carry the maximum pace. Very nicely done there from Maranello Baby. And Baba G gets an overtake done. Where is G Chroma? G Chroma was sitting in 3rd position. He's dropped down to 8th. Has he spun? I believe he may have. He may have spun, but that puts him right within the territory of Anirudh. He will look to maximize from this train forming ahead of him of maybe 4 and 5 cars. But right now, the biggest winner is the Real SD, who's got away drama-free and is now leading the pack, nearly 5 seconds clear of Maranello. But do keep in mind that Maranello is catching him at a rate of maybe 3 to 4 tenths a lap on much, much slower tires. The medium tires definitely not as fast as the soft tires, and the soft tires still within their working capabilities. Only been 7 laps in the race so far. Still got another 5 to 6 laps on the soft tires before we see them really starting to degrade. But Maranello Baby currently sitting in 2nd position, 4.7 seconds, and closing rapidly in on IRC, the Real SD. Oh, Baba G, lots of drama here between the McLaren and Baba G. In the Toro Rosso, let's go on board the McLaren. Behind him is his teammate, obviously, in the other McLaren. Chris By behind them, a little bit further behind them, but Freeman will look to get the overtake done through. Ooh, lots, a little bit wide there from No More PP. Captain Cheesecake picks up a 3-second penalty. It all depends on how much pace you can carry through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. IRC No More PP loses a bit of time going through Chapel, but Freeman will try to get the overtake done here on Baba G. Has DRS, has ERS in overtake. Will he look to slide it up the inside? No, he won't, but Baba G is running wide, anticipating a move from Freeman. He decides to leave him a little bit of space, but the overtake never happened, and Freeman dives down the inside. Freeman dives down the inside and a fantastic move for third position. A brilliant overtake there from Freeman in the McLaren on Babaji. Set it up very nicely. Sold him a dummy earlier on in the lap through the fast right-hander. Maybe Babaji assumed that he would make the move there, ran a little bit wide to give him all the space in the world, but didn't make the move there, just compromised his run into the chicane. And Freeman playing some brilliant mind games here and picks up a brilliant position in the McLaren. Next will be Noble PP, who's already on Babaji. Babaji cannot even think about getting the position back from Freeman because he has to think about Noble PP making an attack from behind. Meanwhile, Chris Bye probably licking his lips at the prospect of this train forming up ahead of him. Ninja Zero, another driver whose performances have gone fairly unnoticed. We saw a big evidence of his pace and his quality in Brazil when he managed to pick up the complete package. He managed to pick up fastest lap. I'm not sure about fastest lap actually. I think he managed to pick up the pole position. He managed to stay in the lead throughout the race, never gave up the lead, and won the race in the end at Brazil. He's currently sitting in 7th position. He will also be looking to maximize from this battle right here, but Babaji again getting very close to Freeman. Freeman unable, a little bit of overstay coming there out of Chapel, but he will not have DRS. Babaji will have DRS here. ERS into overtake, or Freeman look to hug the inside line going into, will he move under braking? No, Babaji is too far behind. Freeman doesn't make the same mistake Babaji made, hugs the inside line going into the corner and retains the position. Whereas no more PP in all of this, still sitting in 5th position. Unable to really make an impact during that entire battle, but he is closing in on no more PP slowly but steadily. Anirudh gets the overtake done on G Chroma. He is now in 8th position. Don't entirely know when that overtake happened, but he's now 1.2 seconds off Ninja Zero in the Renault ahead of him. Yes, he's less than that gap already. It's 1.1 seconds now. We're going on board with Anirudh here, closing up on Ninja Zero. Maybe he might have a chance going into Maggots, Beckett's and the back straight, the hanger straight as it is called. Probably the biggest loser from the opening 10 laps of this race. Dropped down nearly 10 positions. He was in 13th or 14th place, but now he's within a second of Ninja Zero, which means he will have DRS coming into the hanger straight. If he can make up any more time, he could have an overtake going into the right-hander. After Real SD picks up a 3-second time penalty for repeated warnings. Believe he may have overrun the track at Copse Corner. Very conservative line through there. Not the most aggressive on the curbs, but seems to get it done tidy enough. But Maranello will be licking its lips at the prospect of gaining even more time with the Real SD. He now has a 3-second advantage because IRC Real SD must now be 3 seconds clear. I mean, it's too early to say in the race, obviously, but we also saw no more PP picking up a 5-second penalty for repeated warnings as Chris Bye gets the overtake done. Oh, what an overtake there on the inside by Chris Bye. Gets it done in a very aggressive manner. Babaji and Freeman still going at it, but now Chris Bye must be licking his lips at the prospect of these two trying to mount an overtake on these two drivers. He's had a fantastic session so far, made up 9 positions after starting 14th on the grid after picking up a disqualification. How close is Anirudh here to Ninja Zero, right on his tail here. Can he get the overtake done in the first sector? No, he can't, and he also picks up a 3-second time penalty just to further compound his bad luck in this race so far. 3-second time penalty, although Codemasters, this is one horrible view. I don't know what you're trying to show here from this camera angle. Side pod looking very beautiful there. Not so Masum also picking up a 3-second time penalty here. For multiple warnings. Everyone struggling with the first corner, I think. A lot of corner cutting and extended track limits going on. It's a very difficult corner to get absolutely right every time. But, of course, the quality of our drivers in this league are very, very high. So, naturally, we can expect all of them to abide by the track limits. But, of course, there are mistakes once in a while. It doesn't happen every lap. As Babaji picks up another 3-second time penalty. Is that Babaji? Babaji picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's right on the back of Freeman going into Maggots Beckett. He will have DRS here. Freeman also picking up a 3-second time penalty, making it all equal between them. Oh, the Toro Rosso pulls out of the slipstream. Will he be able to get the move done around here on the outside going into the fast right-hander? Yes, he will. Very, very nicely done there. That move was, I think, some driver pulled off a move around the outside. Maranello Baby going even faster now. IRC Real SD dives into the pits now to switch to a set of medium tires. Nice fast pit stop there. Real SD drops into 5th position, might even be 6th position, yes, as Anirudh gets the overtake done. He started the race on the medium tires, so he's still got a lot of time left, a lot of laps left on these set of tires now. Let's go ahead and change our detail to tires, stops. Okay, so Faizan also making a stop there. G Chroma making a stop. IRC No More PP making up a stop. A lot of drivers making up stops here. Real SD also making a stop. So our order has completely changed now. CoolDoc makes his way up into 8th place. An interesting development there. We're just going to leave it on the tyre menu here. Full track map, lap data, that's all fine, that's all fine. Let's go night spectator view here. So right now, in terms of tyre situation, Manila Baby is sitting on 10 lap old medium tyres. He will definitely be looking for the one stop in this race. So he will be looking to a lot of stuff going down on chat here. A lot of people getting involved with the chat. Ooh, as Anirudh puts 2 wheels on the outside of the curb there. So right now, ooh, interesting strategy from Baba G here. He's decided to pit to the hard tires. I don't know exactly how that works out in his favor, but if there's anything that I know, that Silverstone's pretty high wear in terms of tires, lots of high speed corners, lots of quick direction changes, lots of braking zones as well. A lot of wear on the tires, and it wears both sets of tires, left and right, and inside and outside tires evenly, because it's got a lot of combination of both fast left-handers, fast right-handers. It's not exactly like Austria, where you have primarily only right-hand turns, so your outside front wheels and outside rear wheels are put under a lot of pressure in terms of tire wear, and you'll see that those wheels start deteriorating in terms of grip levels much faster than the inside wheels. As there's a car off in sector 1. Is that G Chroma? No, it's Captain Cheesecake. Captain Cheesecake, okay, no, it's a pit stop, and he's come out in a fairly slow manner, probably had a big slap of oversteer or something. This is where the old layout of Silverstone initially started, so you can see right there, there's a track coming off from the left-hand side, and this is the continuation of the circuit. This used to be the first half of the circuit, as Faizan picks up a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner at Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel section, now on the Hanger Straight. I believe the driver I'm most impressed with is CoolDoc. So far, he has managed to put in a brilliant race, sitting in 9th position after starting last on the grid. But right now, I'm very interested in seeing how Baba G is going to make this work out, because he's currently sitting in 5th position on a set of hard tires, and that means that Freeman, who's looking to mount an overtake right here, has DRS. Pretty easy for him. Absolutely blows past the Toro Rosso there, gets the overtake done. But Baba G maybe has made a mistake going on the hard tires here, because he is not on the pace of the drivers behind him. Chris By also licking his lips at the prospect of getting an overtake done. IRC No More PP. Again, this train has formed here in the middle of the field, where drivers are jostling with each other for track position. And the fact that there is a DRS train going in here as IRC tries a very audacious move in Maggots and Beckett's, an interesting place to make an overtake. Don't think that'll work out well for him, but he gets the DRS, but the problem is ahead of him, Chris By gets DRS, Baba G gets DRS. Only Freeman doesn't get DRS because he's not within a second of the car ahead of him. He's nearly 13 seconds off the pace of the rest of the field. So these are the 4 positions that you should be paying attention to right now. 1 to 4. Maranello Baby currently sitting 20 seconds clear of the rest of the field. But do keep in mind that he will probably be pitting for new tyres. That'll probably put him maybe within 10 to 15 seconds of Ninja Zero, who is on the real SD. These three drivers, Maranello, Anirudh and Ninja, started the race on medium tyres, which is why they are considerably far ahead of the rest of them. Cooldog also started the race on medium tyres, which means his pit stop window should be coming pretty soon. But let's focus on this midfield battle here between Freeman, and Chris Bye. Baba G loses some positions there on the hard tyres. No more PP. Will he get it done around the outside here? Yeah, wheel to wheel. It's wheel to wheel going into Cops. But I think he gets the overtake done. Yes, he does. Oh, and he runs wide. Well, that'll be something for the stewards to look at. He runs very wide on the exit of Cops there. But you could argue that he was ahead already, but he does gain an advantage by running wide there. But Chris Bye will now look to get the overtake done on Freeman. 2 seconds clear, though, the gap between them. But they are on similar tyre strategy, so we could see them closing up if Chris Bye decides to put the hammer down. Only 6% ERS here for Freeman heading through the final sector. Oh, there's a battle here between the real SD and Ninja Zero. He will get DRS on Ninja Zero here. Can he get the overtake done? Ooh, tries to switch back, tries to do it around the outside, hoping to get the inside line into the next corner. Ninja leaving him space. Both drivers very clean racing here between the two of them. Go very, very close to each other. But Real SD does have to concede the position because he didn't have enough pace coming out the next corner. Looking to try in something into Cop's corner, just chooses to have the better line through there. Works out well for him, gets a slightly better exit compared to Ninja Zero. Not really many overtaking opportunities going into Maggots, Beckett's Chapel. Keeps it very tidy there, gets a much better exit out of Chapel, but this will be the overtake done by the real SD. Moves out of the slipstream and moves ahead of Ninja Zero. Tidy overtake there from the real SD, and this will be even more problems for Ninja Zero because he has just conceded a position to a driver who made the pit stop just a couple of laps earlier. So if he pits now for newer tires, he will drop even further back. But so he should try to maximize the use of these medium tires before pitching. He is considerably further ahead of Freeman, nearly 13 seconds clear, and Freeman's currently getting embroiled in a battle between himself and Chris Bye as my controller decides to be very, very uncooperative. The triggers don't seem to be working entirely well. This controller's on its last legs anyway. Oh, there seems to be a position change for Cooldog. Cooldog dives into the pits. The first driver who started on the medium tires out of the number of drivers who have started on the medium tires. He is now in 10th position. How many positions will he lose? Faizan will overtake him on the pit straight here. Yes, he will. Not so Masoom will also overtake him on the pit straight here. But Captain Cheesecake is still going through Maggots and Beckett. So Cooldog will come out in 12th position. A fairly good pit stop window for him. Interestingly, he's chosen to go on the soft tyre. Well, there's only 10 laps of the race left. So indeed, a soft tyre strategy could definitely work out. I can definitely see that working out for him. Interesting strategy there, but he is 16 seconds behind Not So Masoom, so he's going to have to show exceptional pace now to get onto the likes of those guys. Captain Cheesecake closes up all the way on Cooldog now, within a second on much warmer medium tires as opposed to cold soft tires. Let's go back to the battle at the front. Freeman and Chris Bye still separated by 1.7 seconds. Not much happening there. As there's a position change at the beginning of the race as Anirudh dives into the pits for a set of soft tires. Yes, he is pitting to a set of soft tires. That could work out in his favor because Ninja Zero will eventually have to give up the position. But where does Freeman and Cooldog work out into all this? They've both overtaken him. Oh, that's not worked out well for Anirudh at all, because now he has to worry about the cars ahead of him. He has to overtake IRC No More PP and Chris Bye, who both have impressive defensive capabilities, and also his teammate Baba G now putting up a battle. Anirudh, what will be your decision making here, my friend? If you can hear on my microphone there, that's the sound my trigger is making every time I click it. Yeah, it's a very, very terrible thing, I'm sorry. Baba G may have made a mistake pitting to the hard tyres. We only have 10 laps left in the race. Big slap of oversteer there, controlled very, very well. But Anirudh makes the position change seem easy. Not much evidence of team orders there. Very clean there through Chapel. He will look to maximize the pace on these soft tyres. Maggots, Beckett and Chapel negotiated with in good fashion. His next target will be IRC, no more PP, as the gap between Chris Bye and Freeman is just 0.5 of a second now. Chris Bye making up huge time on Freeman. Freeman must have made a mistake somewhere. They were 1.7 seconds apart at this point in the previous lap. Only 8 laps left in the race. If Chris Bye wants to get a good points finish for Haas, he must overtake Freeman. He will definitely get ahead of Ninja Zero here, who goes into the pits for a second of soft tyres, going on the exact same strategy as Anirudh, but Anirudh will overtake him. The overcut doesn't work. Undercut has worked out well for Anirudh. Chooses to pit earlier, and obviously that worked out well in his favor. Now on the soft tyres, much warmer now in the working temperature. Chris Bye, 0.6 of a second, has DRS, will close up on Freeman, but going through this section here, which is the start of the old circuit, oh, I shouldn't say the old circuit, but it's the continuation of the old circuit, the 2009 GP circuit. Ooh, Freeman having network issues here, currently not driving this name. Oh, he's back now, never mind. Let's get a nice cinematic view. Oh, lots of lag at play here. But if Chris Bye can get a good run through Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel, he may have. And Freeman picks up a 3-second time penalty. That could be very, very that could be a difference maker indeed. As Chris Bye picks up a DRS here, pops to the outside. Will he get the move done on the outside? There's a clash of wheels, not clash of wheels, but they do make contact. Nothing significant, but nothing doing for Chris Bye here. Still behind Freeman, going into the latter half, going into the pit straight, rather, I should say. He will not have DRS on this straight. Anirudh puts in the fastest lap of the race. Keep him also in mind as he looks to make up some time on the other drivers. Probably the one that I'm most surprised about is Matt Baby. He seems to be 32 seconds clear of Real SD in second place, and he has not pit yet. He's got 18 lap old medium tyres. I think he should be diving into the pits this time around. No, he doesn't. He chooses not to dive into the pits. Encountering the back marker car of Faizan, they're diving into the pits. I've just seen a message on the Discord. Streeter will officially be dropping out of RRL, I think, because he can't deal with this retarded game, he says. As Maranello is on the... I don't know what straight this is, actually. Not entirely sure. But I am interested in the battle between Freeman and Chris Bye. Chris Bye, ooh, Freeman sends it up the inside, going into the final chicane, gets it done. He did not cut the chicken there. He did not cut the chicken. Chris Bye picks up a 3-second time penalty. I don't know what how the penalties will affect here, because I've not been keeping track of the penalties, but I think Freeman has 6 seconds of penalty and Chris Bye also. Or Freeman has 9 seconds and Chris Bye has 6 seconds. Not entirely sure, but Chris Bye will get a good run here going through the back straight. Will he have DRS? Yes, he will. ERS into mode 3. Will he look to get the overtake done on the inside? Should choose to stay on the outside for this corner, because that helps him going into the next corner. Will allow him to have the inside line. Very interesting battle there between the two drivers. Also keep an eye on Anirudh. Will go on board. Anirudh here to spectate the battle between the two drivers ahead of him. He could benefit maximum from this, or he could get the maximum benefit from this, I should say. if those two drivers come together, there's some wing damage between them, that Anirudh will slip very easily into third position and get himself a nice podium finish after dropping to the back of the grid after an incident at the beginning of the race. Anirudh, at the very least, will try to get the overtake done here on Chris Bye. Chris Bye having a lot on his plate to think about. Think about overtaking Freeman, think about defending Anirudh. What does he think about at this point? We'll go into cinematic camera with Chris Bye as he look at him. He's surrounded by cars. He's surrounded by a McLaren in front of him and a Toro Rosso behind him. Doesn't get the overtake done on Freeman at this corner either, but he should be wary of Anirudh, who's closing in behind him. No more PP. Also, running very wide there on the exit of the right-hander, heading into the chicane here. He'll also be sort of licking his lips at the prospect. There's a position change between Ninja Zero and G Chroma as Notso Masoom picks up another 3-second time penalty. These two drivers going at it very wheel to wheel here. Will G Chroma try to send it up the inside? No, chooses to pull out of the overtake, loses some time in the process. But very interesting battle here. But the battle between Chris Bye and Freeman is really heating up now. Sorry, I'm trying to switch. I'm pressing the wrong buttons here because of the controller. Chris Bye now right on Freeman's tail. Is Freeman right on IRC Normal PP's tail? No, but I think Freeman will get DRS from the backmarker car ahead of him of Faizan. Ooh, Chris Bye getting very close. Getting very close here. Very touch tight. It's diffuser to front wing to diffuser. Right up his trumpet here. Will Chris Bye get the overtake done in Cops, or will he choose to keep it for the hanger straight? Yeah, I think he will choose to keep it for the hanger straight. Decides to pull out of it. If he gets a good run here through Maggots and Beckett's, he will have a run on Freeman. Keep also an eye out on Anirudh, who looks to maximize from this as Maranello Baby finally pits. Oh, dearie me. Now look at this. IRC, Real SD, and Maranello Baby separated by just 0.8 of a second. But I do think that Maranello will be pulling away here. He's on much, much faster tyres. His race pace is considerably faster. The battle between Freeman and Chris Bye doesn't seem to be any change thus far. Anirudh also dropping back a bit. The back marker of Faizan helping out Freeman here. Chris Bye won't really get a clean look at his racing line going through this corner. That's if he uses the racing line. Faizan all over the place, but chooses to get out of the way right at the last minute. It's a good thing back markers are ghosted. Still sticking side by side here. Faizan trying to get in on some racing action. Runs a bit wide, going on to the DRS straight, heading into sector 3 here. Chris Bye way too far back to benefit from that. Anirudh also probably licking his lips, but probably Anirudh's biggest question at this point, as Chris Bye gets a questionable exit out of the hairpin, but Anirudh can't seem to benefit from that. Chris Bye dips 2 wheels outside the white line. That won't really be penalized. Nice fast right-hander flat out in the modern F1 car. That will of course change in 2021. Maybe we'll see slower cars but better racing. Anirudh catching right up to Chris Bye here. He will hope to get a good exit out from Chapel. Much better exit there from Chapel for Anirudh. This will be the overtaking chance for the Toro Rosso. He will look to get the overtake done here on Chris Bye. Moves out of the slipstream, moves to the inside. And he gets the overtake done in spectacular fashion, and now he has to worry about Freeman. Freeman is also on slower tyres. Will he look to get the overtake done on Freeman going into the chicane? Has the inside line. Ooh, Freeman trying to stick it around the outside. And gets it stuck around the outside. I thought Chris Bye came barreling through that. That's Faizan in the ghosted out backmarker car. Very interesting battle going into the first sector here. Keep an eye on this battle. This will be the most interesting battle in the last couple of laps of this race. Chris Bye running very wide. We'll go on board with him. Faizan not really helping us out much with the battle here, but look at these 3 cars going wheel to wheel. Well, not wheel to wheel, but they are separated by a couple of tenths of a second now. All 3 of them will get DRS, but Anirudh will look to get the overtake done here on Freeman, or will he choose to leave it for the back straight? Yes, he will. Maranello Baby picks up a 3-second time penalty. That puts him behind IRC. No, he's gone a little bit clear of IRC now. He now has a 2/10 advantage. But Maranello Baby, very, very impressive drive from him today. He has 3 laps without making any mistakes. to put in a great performance. But we are going back onto the battle between Anirudh, Freeman and Chris Bai, all three separated by just 0.5 of a second. Anirudh, if he gets a good run here, he will, because of faster tyres, much warmer, much faster, much grippier tyres, higher ERS engine modes available to Anirudh as well. He's slapped it into ERS 4, gets the ERS open. Will this be where the move is made? Will this be where the final podium position is decided? Anirudh tries to dive it down the inside, sends it up the inside, going into the fast right-hander. Will he get the overtake done? Pushes Freeman onto the outside, but Freeman is still marginally ahead. No, Anirudh has the outside line. Freeman sends it up the inside. Freeman, very brave racing there from Freeman. Very clean racing there from both the drivers, going into lap number 24 here. 3 laps of racing left for our drivers. Anirudh gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, as there's a lot of glitching going on here due to the lag. Will Anirudh get the overtake done here up the inside? Freeman desperate for that final podium position. What's going on here? Freeman mounting the Toro Rosso on my screen here. Probably that's not what happened on their screen. Probably a lot of wheel banging between the two of them. But I think Anirudh has got the overtake done. Absolutely hugs the inside line, going into the hairpin section here. Gets it done very, very cleanly. Woo! Very tight racing between the three of them. I am very sorry, stream, if I am focusing on this battle and not really focusing on other battles, but right now this is a battle that decides the final podium position. Now Anirudh has got the overtake done on Freeman. He should be pulling away from him, but now Chris Bai will be licking his lips at the prospect of overtaking Freeman. Freeman now still reeling from the Anirudh overtake from a couple of seconds earlier. Let's go have a look through the grid here and see if there are any other drivers closing in on each other. Not really. G-Chroma, not so much. G-Chroma and Ninja Zero have a 3-second gap between them. Ninja Zero and Baba G have a 3-second gap between them. And Baba G and the pack ahead of them are quite far apart. But Chris Bai will now look to get the overtake done on Freeman. Maybe even pick up a couple of extra points. Every position counts, obviously. The battling has died down a bit here. Oh, ooh, look at this. Look at this. IRC catching up all the way to Maranello Baby. Maranello may have made a mistake maybe somewhere. Oh, Maranello choosing to give up the position to IRC Real SD. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Very interesting. I think they just want to have a nice friendly battle here. Going into Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Whoever gets the better exit here will have DR. I think he just chooses to let Real SD through because he'll have DRS. Ooh, sneaky move there from Maranello. He's on much faster tyres. Will he look to get it up the inside? IRC hugging the inside line. He'll choose it to go around the outside and then cut to the inside. Faizan picking up another 5-second penalty for ignoring blue flags. Well, we did see a lot of him. As Chris Bai gets the overtake done on Freeman. Freeman drops to 6th position. Very, very funny there. IRC, no more PP, moves up to 5th position. Chris moves up to 4th position. Interesting, interesting. Anirudh, the one, benefits the most from this situation. He's currently sitting in 3rd position. The final podium place will be occupied by him. Maranello and IRC Real SD giving us a nice battle here on the last lap, heading into the first sector. Not a fast left-hander coming up here. Onto a small DRS straight. Maranello will have DRS here. Will he look to get an overtake done up the inside? Real SD hugging that inside line. He moves to the outside. Tries to send it around the outside of the turn, getting the inside line into the next corner. Ooh, 2 wheels on the grass there. Faizan getting another 5-second penalty for ignoring blue flags. And Maranello gets the overtake done on IRC Real SD. But Real SD will look to get the overtake. He'll go get the position back. Cooldog picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Anirudh considerably off the pace of the other two drivers. This is now a battle for 1st and 2nd place. Penalties will decide who comes out on top here, because both drivers are harboring penalties rather. Real SD too far back there to get the overtake done, I should think. But slaps it into ERS 4. Doesn't have much ERS boost remaining. Will he send a massive dive bomb up the inside? No, he won't. Chooses to play it safe. Ooh, all 4 wheels off the track there. Normally that would be a extending track limits warning. Faizan, another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, probably corner cutting or extending the track limits. But Maranello Baby comes across the line here to take victory. Even after all penalties considered, he retains position. IRC Real SD finishes 8/10 behind him. Anirudh now coming into the final chicane. Cool Dog also finishes because he crossed the line. Is there a battle here? There is a battle here between G Chroma and Freeman. Will G Chroma look to pick up another position here? Has the inside line. Ooh, Freeman, if anything we've known from him, he will defend his inside with ferocity as G Chroma sends it up the inside. Massive overtake there. Could it happen? Oh no, I don't think so. It's wheel to wheel. But I think G Chroma's done it. G Chroma's done it. Freeman is out of fuel. Did Dylan overtake him on the line there? No, Dylan's a back marker car. Never mind. Dylan didn't overtake him on the line there. That was a lap car unlapping himself there. Ooh, very, very close there. Not so much Thum finishes off our top 10. Ooh, Captain Cheesecake, very, very hairy there on the exit of the fast right-hander off the hanger straight. Coming into the final chicane here. This will be the last car to come across the line. Captain Cheesecake finished the race in 11th place. And that is a fantastic race that we have seen with some absolutely brilliant racing. Absolutely fantastic racing on display there. Maranello picking up another big victory. I think, okay, Ninja Zero has left the session, but I think attention must be paid here because you will notice that Anirudh is not on the podium. Chris Bai has made his way on the podium because of the penalties that Anirudh had picked up during the race. Anirudh was very, very unlucky to get that incident right at the beginning of the race. But your final top 3 on the podium are Maranello Baby on the top step of the podium, IRC the Real SD in 2nd place, and Chris Bai after penalties. Look at all those penalties. 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. Going to take a screenshot of the final race classification here. Streeter was the one DNF, so we don't have to worry about his position. But look at that. So many penalties. Faizan picking up 27 seconds worth of penalties. Anirudh got very, very unlucky there at the beginning of the race. Lost the car somewhere, or must have been made contact with another driver or something. Dropping all the way to 13th place, now making a recovery drive back up to 4th place, sorry. IRC Adobo PP manages to overtake his teammate and a couple of other results there as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's race. Very, very clean racing there from everybody. A lot of brilliant racing, very wheel-to-wheel action, not many incidents, not many stupid dive bombs, very, very clean racing between everyone. And I do believe that it was one of the cleanest races I've ever seen, with some absolutely brilliant overtaking, especially in the midfield. We didn't really see much overtakes from the front runners. I think Maranello Baby controlled the pace very well throughout the race. But yes, I would like to thank all of you for logging into the stream today. Definitely, if you enjoyed the stream, please go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the RRL channel. Some very, very interesting news upcoming for the next season. We might have a tier 2, and you could be participating in RRL alongside the likes of Maranello Baby, Anirudh, Chris Bai, Faizan, Dylan starts with D in the Williams. You could be racing alongside some iconic drivers in Tier 1 or Tier 2. We will be deciding upon that later on, but RRL is slowly gaining popularity. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream as much as I did. I hope I've been a good host today. In the absence of Walter, I've had to take over the streaming duties, obviously. Hopefully the stream worked out well. Hopefully you guys could hear me and everything. Just leave a comment on stream if everything worked out. Give us a thumbs up as well. And I will see you guys at the next round. Let me go ahead and let you guys know where the next round is going to be, by the way. So the next round in this RRL Season 1 will be at Austria. Ooh, a very interesting race. One of my personal favorite circuits. Austria is going to be a very interesting race. Following that, we have the German GP the following weekend, and then our finale at Circuit of the Americas in the USA. And hopefully the championship gets very, very close in the upcoming races. Maranello Baby not making it very easy for the other drivers. Of course, the other drivers are probably making it very easy for Maranello. Started at the 13th on the grid today and won the race in dominating fashion. But I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you very much for watching, and it's goodbye from me, 8 Cylinders of Fury. Thank you very much.